through the end of the year. Learn more at simplestepsbetterair.org. Again, that's simplestepsbetterair.org.
Shop Honda keeps car buying simple. One price, one person, 1 hour means no games, no back and forth, and no dealer handling fees ever. Upfront pricing and one dedicated advisor who handles everything from start to finish. It's straightforward, stress-free, and honestly, the way car buying should have always been. At Shop Honda, the experience is just as good as the vehicle you're driving home. Discover the Shop Honda difference for yourself. Visit Shop Honda today, proud partner of the Dover and Cecil Show.
Hi, this is Larry Jager with SCL Mortgage. It's home buying season in Colorado, and we can offer you the best loan program at the best available rate. Visit us at myspecialmortgage.com or call 303-790-2222, NMLS number 1200716.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach By here. If your home's hot upstairs and cold downstairs, that's more than annoying. It's a sign your system's leaking air and wasting money. And with utility bills climbing, energy efficiency matters. That's why homeowners trust AeroSeal Colorado. Their innovative sealing technology boosts comfort, cuts energy use, and even gives you cleaner indoor air as a nice bonus. Customers love it. A 4.9 Google rating, and some folks practically write books after the job's done. AeroSealColorado.com fixes what others can't even find. AeroSeal. Comfort sealed.
Don't guess on major HVAC, plumbing, or electric repairs. Get a free second opinion and same-day service from Fix It 24/7. Honest answers, fast help. Visit FixMyHome.com today.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. Powered by Regen RX. It's The Drive with Zach By and Philip Lindsay. Welcome to Denver Sports Tonight. Taking a look at the biggest stories in Denver sports. From your online home for the best opinions and information on the Broncos, Nuggets, Avalanche, Rockies, and more. DenverSports.com.
Back at it on a Monday. Mike Rice, Dante Gomez. I got to tell you, Dante, normally it's sort of the Monday blues, maybe, doldrums. I'm actually glad for a Monday after the Sunday I had. How was your weekend?
It was great. It was nothing too crazy, but just average weekend, I would say. Saving it all up. I'm going to Chicago next weekend, so I had to save my energy, save my
Chi-Town.
my extracurricular activities for that.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Enough said. A quick story about my Sunday, and we will be talking Broncos throughout the show, and you can join in the usual ways. RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. And the YouTube chat is powered by Shop Honda. Head over to the fan YouTube page. Dante, yesterday I was running errands with my oldest son and realized on the way home from the last stop, I was like, where's my wallet? Oh, my. And you know the feeling of dread. I mean, you know, whether it's your cell phone, your wallet, your keys. And the worst part about it is it's one thing to lose something like that. It's a whole nother thing to be thinking to yourself, I literally have no idea where it went. I was like, I have no idea. Zero clue. And I knew it was either at or between our last two stops, just because I had bought something at the second to last stop. And then the last stop, it was like, it could have been, I could have dropped it or whatever. So finally, long story short, because I put it all, I did a huge thread on X last night. I was like, I got to share this story. It was so encouraging. It was so cool. So if you want, check it out at Mike Rice 139, and you can get all the details. But last night I dropped our younger son off to see some friends, pulled into the garage. I thought, if somebody picked up my wallet, there's the driver's license, and they could just bring it by the house. It's possible. And I felt like, I just felt like that was going to happen. So I thought, I'm just going to check the front door. Nobody had rung the doorbell. This is later at night. This is like 9:30 last night. And I look in our little cooler where we, often get milk deliveries, not there. I look in the first step below the front door, not there. The top step below the front door, behind the flower pot, there's the wallet. Can you believe that?
Look at that. Look at a good Samaritan out there for you.
That I got to tell you, there are certain things that really just encourage me. I needed that encouragement. I truly did. So if by chance you are that good Samaritan who came by said address, which I will not put out there, came by said address and dropped off my wallet, or perhaps with the power of this radio station, you heard a coworker talking about how, I did my good deed for the weekend. Please tag them, even though they wouldn't want that. I would love to properly thank them. But there were a lot of layers to this story, which I'll leave out here on the show because I could literally spend the entire hour talking about it. But
did they take a little cash prize for themselves?
They did. Everything was there.
Wow.
The driver's license.
If they're driving it over to you, I expect them to be a good enough
Right.
person to not take anything out of there, maybe.
Right, exactly. The driver's license was there. The credit cards were there. The $7 in cash I had was there. Everything was in there, and it just really blessed me. It absolutely encouraged me. I'm so thankful. So to the anonymous, and there was no note. There wasn't even a note like, "Hey, I found this at one of the stops was the post office," or I found it here, or this is how I came across it and wanted to give it back to you, let alone say who they were, which I'd like to think I would keep myself anonymous if I did that. But at the same time, I'm just curious, I would love to know. And it was just the coolest thing. When I saw the wallet back there, I'm like, that's my wallet.
That's very cool.
It was cool. It really was. Anyway, your weekend far less adventurous, it sounds like.
Yes, far less adventure.
Yeah, okay. The Broncos dealing with some adventure. We mentioned how you can take part, and we invite you to do so. RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043, and the YouTube chat on the Fan YouTube page. The chat is powered by Champ Honda. J.K. Dobbins leaves practice today with a trainer. A speculated, keyword, soft tissue injury. Sean Payton, after practice, did not, of course, offer a whole lot of detail. And, in fact, it was pretty short what Coach's response was to an update question.
Soft tissue, I think he's going to be fine. We're just being smart with it. So it's back to what I was saying at the beginning.
Which was, you got to watch the soft tissue injuries. He did say that. Dante, on the concernometer, 1 through 10, 1 being no big deal at all, nothing to see here, to 10 being, I knew it, season's over. We got to go to the extreme. Where do you fall?
I'll tell you what, it's not a 10. Its season
No.
is not over.
No.
I think it'll just be a thing that holds him out for a couple days here, and he'll be ready to go by week 1. At least that's what I expect at this point. Obviously, that's a lot of speculation as well. We don't even necessarily know what the injury was, so we'll find all that out in the next couple days here. But based on him being able to walk off on his own power, it looked like it wasn't terribly serious. Again, we'll figure it out, and it's not like we were truly expecting J.K. Dobbins to be healthy for all 17 games.
Right.
So if he has to miss week 1, week 2, maybe that's only for the better, where he's going to be healthier longer into the season.
So as far as the number, are you right in the middle at a 5?
In terms of concern level?
Yeah.
With him specifically, or the Broncos as a whole, because they are stacking up a little bit.
They are, but with Dobbins and what happened today.
I'll give it a 3.
Yeah, I'm like 3 or 4. Maybe in my weaker, tired moments pop it up to a 5. But this is, look, we're all hypersensitive about JK and the injury situation, and rightly so. I'm not saying that there isn't a history. We all know what the history is. I'm not gonna feed into it on August the 10th. Now, if it looks like it's something serious, different conversation. But according to what Sean Payton said, according to the accounts, and you were out there today, of Dobbins leaving the field, it just doesn't appear that it was a debilitating injury. And so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it could be. I'll wait until the official word comes.
Yeah, we have a whole month until week 1. What is that, September 14th? So a little bit more than a whole month here. So I think that'll be plenty of time to get him right. He's a veteran. I don't really need to see him in any of these preseason games. I trust that he's going to be able to go out there and run behind this offensive line like he did last year. So I'm okay even if he sits out all of preseason, Some of the other guys I'd like to see out there, but Dobbins is not one of those.
Well, and just to wrap up the thought on Dobbins, let's be honest. if Dobbins played significant minutes in the preseason, we'd all be saying, what's Sean Payton doing? What are they doing when everybody knows his injury history? So I'm not going to make the injury more, assuming we could even call it an injury. We don't know that yet. But I'm not going to make this more than it is. Is it worth monitoring? Of course. But I'm also not going to pretend like I wanted to see him for, 2 quarters or anything, even see him at all in the preseason opener. And to your point, maybe even the entire preseason. I think he knows how to run the football. I don't think he's going to forget.
Yes, and that's one of the few positions where you don't really need to build too much chemistry with the guys around you. It's going to be Bo Nix handing him the ball, and he's going to have to wait and be patient behind that offensive line. But the Broncos are returning all 5 starters on the offensive line as well. He should be comfortable with everybody out there at this point.
At the same time, I say that about Dobbins and the playing time in the preseason because of his health history. For most of the guys, including Bo Nix, I do want Waddle, I don't want to see this weekend. No, not worth it. But most of the guys I do want to starters, I do want to see a series or two. I want to see Bo get out there and run a few plays. I want him to work with Davis Webb. I wish Waddle were healthy enough to be included in that group. I don't want to see him out there. But for the most part, if starters aren't hurt, I'd like to see a series or two. It's that time of year.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'd like to see, let's call it 2 series, and even let's say the first one goes 80 yards for a touchdown, maybe you just take them out after that point, and it can be preseason should be used how preseason should be used, where it's a ramp up to the regular season. In preseason game 2, I'd like to see a quarter out of Bo Nix, and maybe in preseason game 3, we see another quarter. Maybe one of those are a full half of Bo Nix, but I would like to see it used as a ramp up period. Don't need to overdo it this Friday necessarily, especially on the road. You're playing at an indoor stadium. I believe it's turf there, so if we can avoid Bo Nix playing too deep into the game, I'm A-okay with that.
Yeah, I think I want to see him out there. I actually want to see Bo. I want to see him, test the ankle. I want to see him run a few plays with Davis Webb and get back into that football swing. Is it life and death? Of course not. It's preseason. We know what preseason is. It's not even four games anymore. And I heard Zach and Phil talking about the O-line. Yeah, I want to see those guys out there. I do. I want to see them out there. Not the whole game. Come on now. A series or 2. I think that's enough. And then second week, maybe 3 or 4, and then call it good for the preseason. We're just not going to see the mainline guys a lot. That's the way it is, and I'm fine with that, but I don't want to see Bo take the entire preseason off.
I'm with you on there. I don't think he's earned it yet. Not that he's not a good quarterback for this team and on his way to becoming a very wealthy quarterback for this team. I still think there's some work to be done with Bo Nix. He's not a finished product quite yet. I would like to see him go out there and get some work in, build that chemistry with Davis Webb as the play caller, build that chemistry with his receiving core. Looks like Pat Bryant is going to be a big part of that this year in a way that he wasn't a massive impact player a year ago. And then obviously Jalen Waddle, probably going to end up being the leading receiver for this Broncos team. I'd like to see those two try to get on the same page in a live game scenario, because practice is one thing, but when you're going up against another team that's scheming for you and trying to take something away, I'd like to see those reps for Bo Nix. I think those are invaluable at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Your concern level on Jalen Waddle, and again, I don't want to make it dire when it's not, because like you said, we're a month plus from the regular season, and that's when it really matters. I'm concerned, but I'm really concerned because I just want to see Waddle play football for this team. And I would love to see him play even in a preseason situation with Bo, with some of the other starters, with the mainline offense, even if it's just a series or 2. I would be stunned if he played this week. He shouldn't play this week. But is there any part of you that goes, man, I hope this doesn't linger. I hope this isn't more serious than I think it is.
Him, I'm actually a little bit more concerned with than J.K. Dobbins. I'll put that at a 4.5 for now, just because he hasn't practiced in a couple days now, and he wasn't even in pads today, so it wasn't like he was close to being able to practice today. He's off on the side field doing some, one-on-one drills over there with the coach, so a little more concerned with our guy Jalen Waddle, and I also think that what he brings to this team is somewhat irreplaceable. I don't think there's another receiver on this team that does what Jalen Waddle does, where I think that this team could get by with an RJ Harvey, Jonah Coleman duo for a little bit, a week or two at least, maybe even longer than that if it ends up being a month. But I think that Waddle and what he brings to this team is necessary to be out there on Sundays.
Yeah, he's huge. He's huge. It's going to be great. And I think he's going to be fine. I'm not actually overly concerned by any of these injuries. I will say, when Marvin Mims went down and they were talking about a possible groin injury, that was maybe the most disconcerting of all of them for me. I was just like, oh, those things can get problematic in a hurry.
Yeah, no, absolutely they can, and any soft tissue injuries can. So we'll see how the Broncos move forward. It looks like they took an easier day the other day at practice, no pads on Thursday, and that was in hopes of getting some of these guys healthy going forward here. So we'll see how they approach the preseason game. I wouldn't expect a guy like Waddle to be out there, maybe not even Nick Bonito, who did return to practice but missed a couple days just a week ago. So I think that they're going to be very careful in terms of how they use these guys during preseason games.
Yeah. We'll talk about
real quick. Is Waddle your
yes.
biggest concern for injury right now? You said it would have been Mims.
I think it is Mims, actually. And again, I don't get a sense because there's been no real there's no way to really gauge it. There's been no real announcement on any of them, but I think Mims is a little more concerning to me than Waddle.
And Wattenberg?
Yeah, I mean, and Powers and Bonito. And, I mean, Sutton was just kind of I don't know if there's really an injury there. It was the vet days, and we were all speculating about whether or not it meant more than just a couple of days off. But I think Waddle / Mims / Waddle, those two guys, and really, both at the same position group, and we know it's a deep room. And, yeah, it's something that bears watching for me. If we're having the same conversation heading into the final preseason game, what is it, against the Vikings, right? Then, yeah, against Minnesota on the 28th, 2 weeks from Friday, then I'm going, okay, this could get a little bit interesting. But it's not interesting. I mean, it's not overly concerning right now for me. I just want those guys out there because I want to see them play. Interesting, and we will talk about the air quotes backup quarterback battle a little bit later on in the show. So we are going to focus on a different part of the offense, and that is Davis Webb. Davis Webb was asked, by the way, do you want to take it? I mean, here's your chance to get back at Zach. I mean, closing the show by calling you a hypocrite. I mean, that's powerful stuff right there.
It is, but it's somewhat just. I did tell Zach that he couldn't take my question. I think he was messing with me the first time anime when he said he was going to take my question, but I was like, no, that's my question. Hands
got
off.
Defensive. Okay.
And then I went and did the exact same thing today where he had thrown out a question. I was like, oh, that is good. I wasn't going to use it unless he left, and in which case I felt like open game at this point, but I can't say that I'm not being totally hypocritical by stealing his question and telling him he can't use mine.
I like that. Owning it. Just saying I took his question. Not that we have copyrights on questions, but he told you that he was going to ask it. You asked Davis Webb about where he was going to be. I
did not. I asked Sean Payton.
Oh, you asked Sean Payton
about it.
Davis was asked if he'll be on the sideline calling plays or in the booth.
Still working through that, Sean and I. I would like to be on the field is where I'm at today. I didn't play much in my NFL career. I kind of saw the game a lot from that point of view, so I feel pretty good there. But we'll talk about it a little bit more. But that's where we're headed right now.
That was from earlier. That was from over the weekend. Do you want to see him on the sideline or in the booth? Does it matter to you?
I don't really have a preference. My whole point of asking the question was because Sean earlier had mentioned that they're not sure. They're still in the deciding process. So I was curious about if Davis Webb wants to be on the field, what would be the speed bump in having him on the sideline, and should he be up in the booth? Maybe Sean prefers his OCs to be up in the booth, but Sean was a play caller for a very long time. So if we're talking about hypocrites, it would be fairly hypocritical of Sean to be like, no, I want my play caller up in the booth, even though he's been a play caller on the field for the last decade plus. So it seems like they got to the right agreement on that, and it sounds like he will be on the sideline.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Payton talked about.
it's not like we're splitting the atom. Like, that's probably where he'll be with his communication and the QBs, and it's an area where I felt comfortable, and I think you get the plays in so quickly, either from up or down, but I have that same vision.
Yeah, vision on the sideline. So it sounds like that's where Davis Webb is going to be. And Dante, you were breaking a little bit of news today. I'm going to give you full credit.
I appreciate that because he did discuss it with Kay Adams afterwards, but that was about 10 minutes after that I asked the question. So I'm going to take full credit for breaking that news. And I get it, though. I think that it makes sense to have him on the sideline. It's how Davis Webb answered this way. It's how he's always been on a football field, being an ex-quarterback, and he mentioned it. He didn't play a lot, so he kind of saw that the offensive vision from the sideline. I don't know why you'd want to mess with that. Let's say if we're in week 6 and this Broncos offense is struggling, then maybe you can discuss or open up this discussion again to having him up in the booth. But for now, I would say just go with what's comfortable with both guys, or all three guys if you want to include Bo Nix in that as well. So I think that it's going to work out with him down on the sideline.
Couple of other thoughts from Webb. He was asked about the offense getting into a rhythm over the weekend.
I think I'm looking forward to everyone getting a rhythm, our staff, our players, and now the huddle will learn something every game, every drive, and then we'll kind of review it as the game goes, and especially post-game, and try to get 3 good opportunities before Kansas City on Monday night. It'll be rocking, and I know they'll be a good team, so it'll be a good opportunity for us to kind of feel that out, because most of these practices are scripted, and we kind of know what we're going to run, they kind of know what they're going to run, and we'll see what happens in a few weeks.
Yeah, see, this is why, Dante, right there, and he alluded to it, things are really scripted in training camp. I want to see, even if it's a series or two, I want to see the number ones, the guys who are healthy, be in a game situation, albeit preseason. That's all we have. That's where we are in the schedule, clearly. And so let's get those guys out there. Do we keep them in bubble wrap? Not totally. Should the Broncos be smart about it? Yes, they should be smart about it. They're perfectly capable of being smart about it. But give the ones a chance to play some football. Give us a chance to get some glimpses of what could be this year. Not that we're going to go by whatever happens, good or bad, in preseason game number 1 is the way the season's going to be. There will be an evolution. There will be progression, hopefully improvement throughout the season. But I want to see these guys. It's time. For me, anyway, that's where I come down on playing time in the preseason while being smart about it in each individual case.
And maybe we're being greedy. It's been a while since we saw these guys play live-action football, so I'm with you on that. I want to see these guys play, but I would trust Sean Payton and his vision on this. He's been coaching for a very long time. He's been coaching so long that he knows the hard nose. These guys are going to play for 3/4 of the game back when it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago like that. So he comes from somewhat of an old school mindset with that just because he's been coaching for so long. So I would trust him in terms of, do these guys need to get the work in? Do these guys need to get battle tested, start building up those calluses to playing live action football? Or if he believes his team's where it needs to be, then maybe he rests these guys for a good chunk of it, and let's hope that week 1 they come out strong and show that, hey, the whatever path that they go down, let's hope that once the regular season gets going that it's the right path.
I think at least a good portion of Broncos country would love to see the number ones. Bo Nix was asked if he's excited to play this weekend.
Excited. I think preseason is always a great time to get back out there and get your feet wet a little bit and see defenses be in a live situation before the first game.
But whether or not he will get any snaps,
I have no idea.
You think Bo will play?
I think we get a drive from Bo on Friday. I also think it depends on who else is playing. I will say that. Don't stick Bo out there with a bunch of backups. If you're going to play Bo, play all the starters. Give me Cortland Sutton out there. Maybe not Jalen Waddle just because of the injuries that he's dealing with, but give me the starting offensive line. Give me all of that if Bo Nix is going to be out there. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if we don't see him until week 2.
So you would like to see him?
I would like to see him. I'm going to put it at a 60% chance that he plays in week 1.
Yeah, I think he's going to see some snaps.
Not overwhelmingly confident in that, though.
Right. I mean, if I had to come down and put money on it or just make a prediction, I'm going to go on record as saying I think Bo's going to play at least a little bit. And he's certainly not going to play a lot, nor should he, in my opinion. But, again, a couple series, and especially if they're drives that have a couple of first downs in them, then mission accomplished. Get out of there healthy, but still start the process of testing that ankle, getting out there again, and I do think he will see time.
If we do see him go out there and it's let's say he gets 2 drives and they're both 3 and outs, would that cause you any concern, hitting the panic button at all, or is it just, hey, it's week 1 of preseason, these guys still have a lot of work to do, clearly?
If they have 2 3 and outs, I think he gets a 3rd series. I actually do. I just think that's kind of Sean Payton. I think he would want Bo to have more than 6 plays from scrimmage. How many let's say Bo gets 2 series, regardless of how they go. What do you think the breakdown will be between pass attempts and run attempts? I mean, I get it, and we're just having fun with it because it's preseason, and we haven't had Broncos football in however many months, 8 months, 7 months. I could see them slinging it around a little bit, testing a few routes.
I will say there was a heavy emphasis on running the ball today out at practice. So they had fullbacks in there. They were running the ball, I would say, half the time, maybe even more than half the time. So they're getting after it and really nailing down that run game, hopefully. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a good even split.
Yep.
Also depends on who's playing running back at that point.
Of course. And neither of us expect to see JK, right?
I don't think so. I think we're going to see a heavy dose of RJ Harvey.
RJ and Jonah Coleman, too.
Jonah Coleman as well, but I think Harvey will be the first back out there.
I would agree with that. What about the other side of the football? We will hear from defensive coordinator Vance Joseph when we come back on Denver Sports Tonight.
Stay up to date on the Broncos with our 9 News Broncos insider Mike Kliss. Presented by Fitness Gallery and Monarch Construction and Roofing. Hear the latest from every practice and every game every single week during football season. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Summer is a time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your tan or abs. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to decades of thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day, and it can even grow for life. Did I mention Advanced Hair even guarantees your new hair will grow? Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during Advanced Hair's best offer ever. The summer sales event is on for a limited time, so schedule your free consultation and get the details today. 720-459-HAIR. One-day treatment, life-changing results with Advanced Hair. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and get your savings details while still available. That's 720-459-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
Are you one of those people who dread going to the dentist? If so, have you tried sedation dentistry? Learn more about sedation dentistry at coloradosedation.com. Sit back, relax, and dream with the most experienced sedation dentist and staff at Clarkson Dental.
Hey guys, boy Steve here today about my long-term buddy Troy Hansford. And if you're thinking about selling your house for any reason, now might be the time to sell, still get top dollar. Believe it or not, my guy Troy is still offering his $5,000 guarantee. What is it, you ask? Well, if you can't sell your house at your price on your timeline that you agree upon beforehand, bam, going to cut you a check for $5,000. Who else makes the offer? Nobody I've ever heard of. And he makes that offer because he continues to spend a ton of money marketing his listings, has about 100 families approved and ready to buy right now. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy can buy your house, all cash, and he can close in as little as 7 days. You have a house to sell, Troy probably has that perfect buyer for you right now, waiting for you to pick up the phone and to call him. Call Troy, get your home sold for the most money. That's 720-900-4433, 720-900-4433. Troy Hansford of RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions do apply. Want to sell your house? Then call my buddy Troy, 720-900-4433.
Hi, Dan Cicchini, Done Right Home Improvements. For an 8% scheduling incentive and a special financing rate of 0% APR with 72 equal monthly payments, go to drhi.com. Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, finished basements, windows, and doors. You have our word, we'll treat you right at Done Right.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. Here's what I love about my guys at Natural Tree Care and Recycling. 3 years, and they've never let me down. Not once. Aaron, the owner, is a Colorado native. They're locally owned, and he treats your property like it's his own. They've protected my trees throughout this drought. They've kept everything looking beautiful. No job too big or too small. So if you want someone you can actually trust with your trees, go to naturaltreerecycle.com. That's naturaltreerecycle.com, or call them at 303-803-3850 and tell them Zach sent you.
Attention Ram owners. Did you know you could get $500 for Recall 67A without leaving your driveway? With new mobile appointments, we'll come to you. We'll finish the simple software update in under an hour, and it won't affect your truck's performance. Plus, you'll get an extended warranty worth thousands. Make a power move. Schedule Recall 67A today at CumminsRecall.com.
Most people don't think about their garage door until it stops working. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Door Service. A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. There's never a good time for your garage door to break, whether you're rushing to work or you're trying to get the kids to school. We know how much you rely on your garage door. That's why we offer same-day repairs, because life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Over 90,000 five-star reviews don't happen by accident. They happen by putting people first. Fixing your garage door is what we do, but making your life easier and your home safer is why we do it. Families trust us because we deliver, and we'd be honored to earn your trust too. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Door Service today.
Brandon Stokely here for ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Time is running out. Heat pump rebates are being cut in half October 1st. Heat pumps are the best option for your home. They cool in the summer and heat in the winter. They offer superior comfort and efficiency compared to your old air conditioner and furnace. The countdown is on. Don't wait. Colorado's heat pump experts, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
It's Denver Sports Tonight on Denver Sports Station 104.3.
Way, if you would like. The 817 Michael says, completely out of left field, mere speculation. But that's, it's still preseason, so we're going to speculate a little bit, Dante. Because Michael says, do the Broncos, with a full wide receiver room, trade Troy Franklin, like Vele last year, for picks to continue building this team? What do you think?
I don't believe so, just because this team's in a Super Bowl window, and we saw just a year ago, was it the Buffalo Bills game when we have little Jordan Humphrey out there? So I think it's been shown that, hey, this team needs the depth, because even as it is right now, Jalen Waddle wasn't out there practicing. Cortland Sutton missed a couple days last week. I think this depth is going to be on display this year, and they can go 5 deep with the best of them. And you can even look into the practice squad after that. I think Michael Bandy could be a contributor on this team if called upon. Little Jordan Humphrey obviously has been called upon in the past year and has a good relationship with Sean. So I think they have a couple guys that can come up in the time of need if they need to, but I think it's important to have these guys and make sure to keep that depth in the room and don't thin it out too much before the season starts.
The other thing, too, looking a little bit longer term, is that Cortland Sutton's on the backside of his career. We don't know how much longer he'll be with the Broncos after this year, just because of contracts, age, economics, and all the rest. And Troy Franklin figures at this point to be a guy that could step up into an even more prominent role. Pat Bryant would also be in that conversation if and when, or I should say when, Cortland's days with the Broncos are done. I'm not saying it will be after this year. I'm just saying it's going to be likely sooner than later, given age.
Well, you leave yourself the option, at least, to move on after this year if Troy Franklin shows that he's ready, if Pat Bryant shows that he's ready. And Pat Bryant has dealt with some concussion issues a year ago.
Yeah.
So I think it's smart to just keep this room as loaded as possible and leave yourself the options at the end of next season.
Another good point on the RamosLaw.com text line from the 5824. How would Bo react if they traded Franklin, given their history? I mean, that would be part of it, too.
I think that's probably a little overblown, the relationship they have. I know that they came from Oregon to here, but, I mean, we saw it in year one of those two guys. They couldn't get on the same page.
No, they couldn't. But when you have a guy that there is some history prior and he's growing into a pretty talented receiver, I'm not sure Bo would be in favor of it for any reason.
No, I don't think so either.
I
But I think it has more to do with the latter reason of, this guy's showing that he can do some work out here. I don't necessarily think that they're best friends from their days at Oregon. I don't think it's a bad relationship, but I would venture to guess that Bo spends a lot more time with Sam Ehlinger and Jarrett Stidham than he does Troy Franklin on the weekends.
I want to focus a little bit on VJ's defense as we continue on Denver Sports Tonight. Coaches talking about each other. Davis Webb was asked about going against Vance Joseph's defensive unit.
Awesome. We get to see a top 5 NFL defense every single day of the week. So it's a blessing from the first level to the second level, third level to go against those guys and just see the growth of Chris Abrams-Drain, Pat Surtain, obviously. Alex Singleton's been hustling everywhere. He's been noticeable. Our D-line's getting after the QB. So, yeah, we get to go against a great defense every day, and that'll benefit us throughout the season.
And flip it around, VJ certainly impressed with what Davis Webb is doing, calling plays his first time around.
First of all, he's smart. He's so smart. You know, he understands defenses, and the best play callers in this league understand defenses. So he's not just calling plays to call plays. I can tell, you know. When he knows the coverage, he is calling the exact beater he should call. That's the first time for a play caller in this league, in my opinion. And he has got great energy, man. He's pushing the guys to get better. He understands running the football is going to be, you know, our calling card. But he's calling plays that makes the defense work. The shifts and motions, you know, that makes us work. And he's got a bunch of, like, you know, wide open concepts in practice because of shifts and motions. So he's worked very hard from the spring to now to put it all together, man. And it looks really good, you know. And it's hard every day to kind of not game plan, but kind of just get ready for the things he's given us, because it's a lot, but it's so good for the offense to kind of show us it all. But the shifts and motions and the window dressing pre-snap has been good for all of us to see.
A lot there from both coaches, but I like that. Paying, sharing the love in between the staff, and I think you want to see that, and it sounds sincere. You can only go by what it sounds like. And Dante, I like the fact that Vance Joseph feels like Davis Webb knows defenses, thus can call plays against certain defenses and certain looks. That, to me, coming from VJ and what he's done on the defensive side of the ball, does give me some extra confidence in Davis Webb, the play caller.
Yeah, and they were both very complimentary of each other. Not that I would think otherwise. I don't think they're going to be like, oh, yeah, this guy over here is an idiot. I think that's the right answer, the team answer, let's call it. But no, I think that they were very genuine in their compliments for each other. And I thought a big thing that Vance pointed out there was the pre-snap motion, because just a year ago we saw not a lot of pre-snap motion from this Broncos offense. So I think that's only going to help these guys in a league that does a lot of that, especially going up against the NFC West, which has Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, also will include Clint Kubiak of the Raiders are going to face twice. They come from that Shanahan coaching tree where there is a lot of pre-snap motion there, and you're diagnosing if it's a zone or man coverage there. So I think that's only going to help this Broncos team when it comes to the regular season and facing offenses like that.
There have been a number of guys that have stood out as having really good camps, maybe at the top of the list. Certainly in the conversation for the top spot is Riley Moss. And VJ was asked what he has seen from his cornerback to this point.
He's grown with his football IQ. You know, Riley is competitive. He has no physical limitations at all. You know, his downfall last year was just playing clean, not getting penalties. But watching him now, he's been calm. He's seeing the splits. He's playing square with intermediate routes. I mean, the ball goes vertical. He's not fouling. He's fouling the football. And that's the progression for most young corners, you know. If they're competitive, they can play. And once you fix the football IQ and it slows down and they find the ball, that's a very good player. So he's on track to have a great year.
Yeah, that last part, Dante, leading up to if the talent's there, you can fix some of the other things. And there's no reason why Riley Moss can't fix the penalties. He did, and we talked about it a little bit on Friday. He did in the back half of the season. There were fewer DPIs from Riley Moss the last, 7 or 8 weeks. I think that bodes well. I think the talent level is clearly there, and I'm believing that Riley Moss is going to get an extension before the end of the season.
I would agree with that sentiment. I don't think it happens in preseason the way we saw a couple of those extensions happen a year ago. I think they're going to make him go out there during the regular season and earn it. But if he goes out there and proves himself in those first 6 weeks, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets an extension before the bye week even.
Could be. I would love to see it. And I would love to see the Broncos have the decision on, okay, now we've got Patrick Surtain, we've got Riley Moss, we've got J-Mac playing as a restricted free agent on the tender, and we've got Jahdae Barron sitting around. So how do we juggle all that? How do we fit all of that? Because guess what? If J-Mac continues what he did last year, I don't want him to leave either. I don't know how you pay them all, but and Bo Nix coming up. But that's what George Payton and all the cap guys get paid to do.
Yeah, and we're going to see they might have to start making some decisions here moving forward because this is getting to be an expensive roster. But that's a good problem to have.
It is.
Where you want to pay these guys. So hopefully they're able to get out in front of it and get a little bit of a deal on some of these guys. The way Pat Surtain is not even a top 5 paid cornerback anymore because they got so far ahead of his contract extension. Hopefully we see that with guys like Moss and McMillan as well, where 2 years from now it's looking like, wow, I can't believe they were able to get those guys on that kind of contract.
Or maybe even by next year you start saying that if the deal really includes that hometown discount, and don't put it past the Broncos, because here's the thing that we both know. Yeah, guys want to get paid. There's no question. That's why part of the reason why they do it. They also want to win. And if you're Riley Moss and you're looking at this roster and you're saying, okay, do I hold out for an extra X million? Or do I stay here, sign for a really nice deal, and stay with Bo and stay with this roster? I think that factors in.
I think it would too. I also want to point out Vance Joseph could be up for a head coaching job just a year from now. I'm curious to see how these pieces would work, maybe with a different defensive coordinator, and if it still works as well as it has under Vance.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Although I'm gonna put that one in the crock pot. Does Vance Joseph get a head coaching job next year? I don't have a strong feel either way. I could certainly see it, and I could certainly see where he's back as DC again. It's going to be fun to see. It might come down to what we were just talking about.
Maybe both coaches are in that boat where they're both returning, and everyone's saying, how did that happen? How are we getting both of these great coordinators to return for a second year in Denver? So we'll figure that out during the offseason. But hopefully Vance and Davis both put themselves in a position to be interviewing for these head coaching jobs.
Yeah, one would think at the very least that will happen. It'll be fun to watch it unfold. We turn our attention to the backup quarterback spot. Is there truly a battle, or is this just more a topic of conversation? That's up next.
With Courtland Sutton and Jalen Waddle getting rest days at camp, the door's been wide open. The guys like Marvin Mims and second-year man Pat Bryant are walking right through it. New offensive play caller Davis Webb has the keys now. Could 2026 be a breakout year for both receivers? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Every year, summer ends and the kids go back to school. This year, I'm going back too, at My Computer Career. They'll help me get the skills and certifications that can get me noticed by top employers in months, not years. Now I'm on a fast track to a high-demand IT career where the rewards can finally match my value. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu. It's never too late to go back to school.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. What if you had the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years guaranteed? Thanks to Xfinity, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. Now through August 24th, get the best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. You're guaranteed 5 years of super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from online threats and finds and fixes issues before you even notice them. No annual contracts or commitments, no hidden fees, and the best equipment included. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Progressive presents the Museum of You.
We begin our tour with a unique piece, a relic from the early big screen television era. Remarkable. Next, we find a juicer, which historians believe has only ever been used once. And finally, compact discs from the emo era. A rare find indeed.
Some things should be history, but until then you could protect what's important to you and save by bundling your auto insurance with a renter's policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Most home sellers get one offer. It's somewhere between lowball and not good enough. Orchard changes that. With Orchard's new Orchard offers, you don't just get one offer. You get multiple cash offers from serious investors all competing for your home. That's right. Make investors compete with Orchard's cash offer marketplace. Here's how it works. You work with an Orchard agent who submits your home to their exclusive network of hundreds of local cash buyers. They come to you with offers. You review them all and pick the best one on your terms. So you don't have to settle on one offer or worry about leaving money on the table. You see every offer side by side. That's how you know you're getting top dollar. Orchard offers means no repairs, no showings, no drawn-out process. Before you accept any offer, see them all first. Get a free home valuation and see your offers today with Orchard Offers. Go to Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan presents
I am I am a Broncos preseason football fan this year, especially this year. And I'm ready to see whoever they roll out. And as we talked about a little bit earlier, Dante, I think that the ones are going to get a series or two, at least most of them. Well, I wouldn't expect J.K. Dobbins to play. I wouldn't expect Jalen Waddle to play. And there might be some guys on defense that would normally be starters that may not go. But I think we are going to see Bo for a series or two.
Yeah, we'll see. I would like to see him, like I said, for like 2 series, but I could see them putting him in bubble wrap based on the other injuries that have already been sustained out there and guys missing time. I wouldn't want to put Bo Nix in danger if he's not out there with the whole starting group. And I'm with you. I'm not typically a preseason football guy, but I am like itching for football to get back at this point.
Especially the Broncos. I mean, after last year and the way last year ended, I think we all want to say, okay, let's go. Let's get started on the journey of the 2026 season. Behind Bo Nix, I think we would both fully expect a healthy dose of Jarrett Stidham, a healthy dose of Sam Ehlinger. Davis Webb, the OC, talked about the backup quarterback competition.
Been great. I mean, Stiddy, he's been in a year 4. You know, he spotted play for us very well, and I think Sam has grown tremendously from last year to this year, and we're really, really fortunate to have 3 really good quarterbacks, and not every organization can say that. We can, and we trust all 3 if they had to play, and I'm really looking forward to those guys in the preseason.
So not a lot of insight as to whether or not this is truly a battle. What do you think? Do you think that there is a genuine competition and there could be a change behind Bo Nix?
So I'm going to read into it a little bit further of what he said there, read between the lines.
Okay.
And he was pretty complimentary of Sam Ehlinger there, and he didn't immediately squash the quarterback battle thing the way that Sean Payton has when he's been asked about both of those guys. So to me, it almost feels like there is a competition between Ehlinger and Stidham, and these Sean Payton from last week when I asked him about it, Davis Webb from Saturday when he was asked about it, had nothing but good things to say about Sam Ehlinger. So I think Ehlinger's really impressed this offensive staff, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being on this 53-man roster.
I think that's entirely possible, and I think they're complimentary of him because they like him. They like Sam Ehlinger, and he might be Bo Nix's backup after this year. But right now, the way I see it, Dante, is I think Sean Payton is doing what he wants in camp, which is creating competition. I don't know that it necessarily means that, and Jarrett Stidham, and you've been out there, has not had a great camp by most observers' opinions. I still think he's the backup, and I still think right now he's fairly solidly the backup quarterback.
See, I think it's going to depend on preseason. I think Stidham has to go out there and play well. I think if Ehlinger outplays him in all their preseason time, at that point, I'd be ready to name Ehlinger the backup quarterback. It's not like Jarrett Stidham went out and lit the world on fire in that AFC Championship game. He had a good drive, the touchdown. That was all great, but he also had a lot of downtime during that game where it's like, this Broncos offense can't even move the ball. And I get you're not out there with J.K. Dobbins, but still, I was not impressed with Stidham's performance in that AFC Championship game, and I think it'd be fair to hold it against him at this point if you're the coaching staff. And you mentioned it, and I mentioned it to you before the show here, but Jarrett Stidham has not impressed me in camp that much, and Zach had a good take about it. Maybe the AFC Championship game kind of scarred him and ruined his confidence going out there because Stidham was one of those energy guys out there, even as a backup quarterback. Zach mentioned he's out there throwing the towel. He's shooting the water around. He's really a voice of this team, and we have not seen that version of him out there. If anything, I've actually seen a worse version of Jarrett Stidham where there's some operational issues where Stidham's a veteran in this league at this point, and we're talking about snaps going over his head, fumbled snaps from
but snaps over his head don't have anything to do with him.
That is true, but I'm talking about 4 or 5 plus instances of operational issues between the center and Jarrett Stidham. I'm not saying that's all Stidham's fault, but there seems to be a reoccurring theme there with him versus Nix and Ehlinger have not had those same issues.
Yeah, no, and that's fair, and you've seen it firsthand, and I certainly trust that, and I respect that for sure. I think you could also say, as much as all of us hold the AFC Championship game against Jarrett Stidham, the second half of that football game was not anything close to a normal football game. And is that an excuse? I'm not saying it's an excuse, but if you're going to come down hard on him, I think it bears mentioning that those were extreme conditions. And the other side of the coin is, I mean, he didn't make the decision to pass on the field goal. And I do think that hurt him. I do think that hurt the confidence, or it sure appeared to, when they didn't get that play. And the play call, I mean, we can relitigate that whole thing. I also think there is some truth to, maybe that game has had a lingering effect on Jarrett Stidham. So I'm not ready to say that Sam Ehlinger is the guy, but I do agree with you that if the play on the field makes it obvious that Sam Ehlinger is ready to be the number 2 quarterback, I don't think Sean Payton would be afraid to pull that trigger.
See, and that's where I'm at, where Ehlinger has to go out there and prove it still, but I think based on what we've seen from camp, he's going to show that he has the ability to be the backup here. And you are right. It's hard to hold that AFC Championship game against Jarrett Stidham. We saw that Patriots defense prior to that, lockdown, C.J. Stroud, lockdown, Justin Herbert. So that was a good Patriots defense as well, but I will say that I was left wanting more based on Jarrett Stidham's performance in that game, and I'm still left wanting more based on his performances out of camp.
And I'm actually wanting to see if Sam Ehlinger can do it consistently even in preseason games.
I'd like to see Ehlinger get the opportunity to run with the 2s in a preseason game.
I think we're going to see that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And to me, if that does happen, that's all I need to know about if this is a actual quarterback competition or not.
Yeah. We always say it's what the coaches do and how they divide up playing time, not what they say at the podium. Dante, great stuff as always. Good to see you. Enjoy the week.
You as well, Mike.
All right, that's Dante Gomez. I'm Mike Rice. Thanks for hanging out with us. Denver Sports Tonight on 104.3 The Fan.
Want real Broncos talk? Cecil Lammy and Andrew Mason bring the heat on Orange and Blue Today. The most passionate intelligence and in-depth Broncos coverage in the game. Weekdays at 5 p.m. on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Hit subscribe at Denver Sports 104.3 and never miss another take. Orange and Blue Today, powered by Ramos Law, official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
A small roof problem today can become a major expense tomorrow. Colorado hail, wind, and heavy snow can turn minor damage into costly repairs. Don't wait until it's too late. Trust Colorado's best roofing for honest inspections, dependable repairs, and reliable service. Schedule your free roof inspection today at roofingcolorado.com. In Colorado, relationships matter. That's why professional contractors across the Front Range choose Western Pacific for doors and millwork. For 35 years, this family-owned, locally operated supplier has delivered quality products, next-day delivery, and quick will call service that keeps builders on schedule. From new construction to remodels, their experienced team is committed to helping contractors succeed. Visit GoWestPack.com. Western Pacific, local ownership, professional expertise built for Colorado contractors.
Every day, cyclists across Colorado are seriously injured by careless drivers. I'm Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm, and for nearly 50 years, my firm has been fighting to make those drivers and their insurance companies held fully accountable. We know these cases, we know how to win them, and we won't stop until we get you the maximum compensation you deserve. If you've been injured in a bicycle accident, call the Wilhite Law Firm today, 303-GOOD-LAW, or visit wilhitewins.com.
This August, take advantage of the Honda Summer Event at Schomp Honda and get behind the wheel of the all-new 2026 Honda Passport. That's what I drive, and it is fantastic. Built for Colorado adventures and everyday confidence, Passport is ready for mountain getaways, weekend road trips, and your daily commute. At Schomp Honda, buying is simple with their one price, one person, 1 hour philosophy, giving you a clear, upfront price, one dedicated advisor, and a fast, hassle-free buying experience. Plus, Schomp Honda never charges dealer handling fees.
At Applied Future Technologies, they use AI and automation to solve real business problems. How much time does your team lose to repetitive tasks, manual data entry, and searching through information? They build practical solutions around your organization's unique needs. Tools that organize and analyze information, streamline workflows, reduce backlogs, and support faster decisions. Give your team more time to focus on what matters most. Discover what Applied Future Technologies can automate for you at appliedfuture.com.
Philip Lindsay here. Summer is coming. Time for hikes, golf, and family adventures. But if degenerative joints or those old high school sports injuries are holding you back, discover natural, pain-free relief with Regen RX. Their stem cell treatment, PRP therapy, and shockwave therapy could be the answer to reclaiming your active life. No surgeries, no downtime, and no risk. Get a free consultation today. Text the word PAIN to 303-630-9770. That's PAIN to 303-630-9770.
When you see this in your kitchen,
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge